So Marlon Vera versus Dominick Cruz just took place in the main event of UFC Fight Night San Diego, Vera versus Cruz, and oh my god, what an amazing finish by Marlon Vera. What an amazing performance by Dominick Cruz. This fight had everything. It was a great main event. It delivered in every way. But Marlon Vera got the finish in round 4 by KO victory with a vicious head kick. I said that Marlon Vera was going to win this fight by 4th round finish, but I said he was going to drop Dominick Cruz with a head kick and then find a Darce choke and submit Dominick Cruz in round 4. I did not know he was going to put him out with a head kick. However, I did say that he was going to get a head kick in the 4th round because I could see Dominick Cruz throwing in an exchange, starting to get a little bit tired, and then on the exit of an exchange, I could see him dipping his head into a head kick of Marlon Vera because Vera throws a lot of head kicks to cut off opponents, but amazing, amazing win by Marlon Vera. He moves closer towards the top of the division. He's still got, I believe, 1 fight to go before he gets to that title shot. But man, Marlon Vera is quickly becoming must-see TV in the UFC right now. He might be the most exciting fighter on the roster. Luque's in that mix. If Yuri can keep it going, he's going to be in that mix as well. But in terms of consistency, this guy doesn't have boring fights. Amazing win by Marlon Vera. He's hit a new stride recently, especially in his power, because I don't remember him having this level of power. Is it his boxing technique? Is it his sort of shot selection? Is he more, does he know which shots to put KO power behind a little bit more than he used to early in his career, perhaps? And he did have KOs early in his career, but it didn't feel like anything he touches you with puts you down. And that's how it felt like in this fight against Dominick Cruz. Dominick Cruz was doing it's so sad, man. Dominick Cruz was doing so good against Marlon Vera in this fight. Round 1, Vera dropped him, but Cruz dominated the entire round, and every judge gave it to Dominick Cruz. That was a little bit of a toss-up round, but I agreed that Dominick Cruz did enough damage to avoid that knockdown being a real bad thing. If he would have gotten knocked down and wobbled all over the place, and Vera followed up a little bit, then maybe it would have been a different story, but he got knocked down as he threw a kick, and then he popped right back up immediately and got right back on Marlon Vera, landing a bunch of big shots on him. So I still gave the first round to Dominick Cruz, arguably. Round 2, I gave to Dominick Cruz as well. I thought he dominated that round very clearly as well. And then round 3, close round, Dominick Cruz winning the majority of the round, but Vera put him down with a 1-2 or even like a jab at one point in that fight. And then round 4, a little bit more convenient with a little bit more competitive between the pair of them, and then Marlon Vera lands that head kick out of nowhere and lands brutally on Dominick Cruz and actually shattered his nose with a head kick as well. Right on the nose. Dominick Cruz ran right into it. And you could just see as the fight went on, oh God. That's how I was feeling as a Dominick Cruz fan. I picked Marlon Vera by 4th round finish. I said he would set it up with the head kick. I didn't say he would finish with the head kick, but he would knock him down with a head kick and then find the sub. But I knew he was going to hurt him bad in the 4th and finish him. And I could just see it more and more every round. Round 1, he got caught, and I was like, oh God, this is just going to make it easier for him to get finished in the future of this fight because he's already been knocked down. And then he kept winning round 1, and I was like, wow, Cruz is looking great. Great combinations. He's mixing in kicks. The body shots that he's throwing are amazing as well. Round 2, he's winning that round very clearly. He's mixing in takedowns as well in round 1, ending up on top, landing some shots there. Round 2, he does the same thing, mixes in a takedown, lands some good shots there, scrambles out of some positions, wins the round, the majority of the round. I think he got caught with a 1-2 and sort of sunk a bit, but popped back up, and I think I gave him that round as well. Or maybe something else happened in round 2. I'm not even too sure. But maybe he didn't get knocked down in round 2. I think it was maybe twice in round 3 that he got knocked down. But I gave Dominick Cruz the first 2 rounds. Looking great. Combination punches. But you could slowly see as the fight went on. It's like when you're fighting Marlon Vera, Jaw's music is being heard. Anyone else get that vibe? Like you're watching a Marlon Vera fight, and your favorite fighter veteran is fighting Marlon Vera, like even Frankie Edgar, and it's just dun 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 dun, and then round 3 or 4 comes around, and it's dun 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 dun. Like it's starting to pick up. Like when's it gonna happen? When is he going to find that shot to change things? Font was whooping him up, and Font got hurt at the end of all of the rounds and beaten because of that. And then you've got Dominick Cruz whooping him up, getting hurt at the end of some of the rounds, and he lost because of that, eventually getting finished in the 4th round by Marlon Vera. O'Malley whooping him up in the first part of that fight, although there's not much to go off of, and then he lands the perennial nerve kick and changes it, but still gets beaten up with O'Malley on one leg, and then he lands the elbow when O'Malley falls over because he was on one leg. But Marlon Vera, man, how good is Jose Aldo? But is it just because it was a 3-rounder? I'm telling you right now, this guy can be a champ, but he's got to play it right. If I was Marlon Vera's manager right now, I am saying to the UFC, we are main event gold. Anytime we fight in the main event of a fight night, we deliver beyond belief. You know that. We aren't fighting unless it's the main event of a fight night, or a 2-round or 5-round co-main event of a pay-per-view. We aren't doing it otherwise. And if I was opponents of Marlon Vera, I'd be saying, we aren't fighting 5 rounds. We're going on the main card of a pay-per-view. Like, if O'Malley somehow beats Yan, we'll see. There is a bit of a changing of the guard, but we'll see. Yan's still a young guy, you know what I'm saying? So I think Yan's going to beat O'Malley by 3rd round TKO. But if I'm any of these top guys and I get dealt the Marlon Vera card next, I'm saying, hey, 3 rounds, pay-per-view, let's do a 3-rounder, because maybe in a 3-rounder, Dominick Cruz could have beaten Marlon Vera. You know what I'm saying? So, interesting fight. Cruz winning the most of the fight. I'd say, how long was the fight? The fight lasted 17 minutes. I'd say Cruz won 15 minutes of the 17 minutes, but the 2-minute sequences that Vera won, all of about 30-second windows, were enough to get him like the victory in the end with that brutal head kick KO. But unlucky Dominick Cruz. Unlucky Dominick Cruz. So sad to see, because he was looking good and he genuinely looked like he could hang with the top guys in that division. I think he should believe that to himself as well. Like, yeah, I got KO'd. Yeah, I got my nose broken, but I showed that I belong at the top of this division because I was schooling that guy. So I think if Dominick Cruz gets like a 3-rounder on the main card of a pay-per-view, I think we're looking at some good things for Dominick Cruz. I think his style could work against maybe a Rob Font, but maybe the boxing would be a bit of a problem there. But he could beat a lot of guys at the top of this division. He could look for a Frankie Edgar fight and probably beat him quite conveniently and quite convincingly. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. Probably beats Frankie Edgar quite convincingly. Could beat Cody Garbrandt in a rematch, I would say. He's been looking better than Cody Garbrandt has recently. So yeah, I think these are the matchups that you should be looking at. Maybe if O'Malley loses and they want to give him another jump up, Cruz could be the guy that offers on the main card of a pay-per-view, and then that could get him like a good position if he wins to jump back into the top 5. But it's just one of those deals. If TJ Dillashaw loses to Aljamain Sterling, and then Aldo moves above him, and then maybe like Sandhagen moves above him, and loads of people move above him, Vera moves above him maybe, and even like O'Malley could move, and Yan could drop down and still be above Dillashaw. Maybe they could do a Dillashaw versus Cruz 2, a Garbrandt versus Cruz 2. If Aldo loses to Merab, we know Aldo's going to be fighting in Brazil no matter what happens in that Merab fight, so maybe he'll be doing a bit of Aldo versus Cruz. If he loses to Merab, that could work out. There's so many possibilities you can go with this. I think Cruz isn't going to retire, because I feel like he's going to be sort of like, if I stick around, I keep my commentary job. I think that's kind of what Cruz will think at this point, using his high IQ, whatever's left of it after that fucking head kick at least. But I think he'll think to himself, as long as I'm fighting in main events and actually a big asset to the UFC, they're going to keep me around on commentary. Whereas I feel like if Dominick Cruz retires, he knows it's probably about half a year before they get him off commentary and get someone else on. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're waiting to shoehorn someone else into those big spots on cards. But yeah, Dominick Cruz, I reckon he'll stick around, fight some legends, maybe get his way back in there with the right matchups. 2 wins and he's fighting for a belt. He looked great, so he shouldn't be disheartened by it. I know people don't like Cruz and they're going to mock him about this, but he's a legend of the sport and he looked amazing. But Marlon Vera, man, dangerous, takes shots well, took a bunch of big shots off Cruz, no marks on his face whatsoever, took a bunch of big body shots and leg kicks, but just completely ignores them. Don't know what this guy's made of, but it's similar DNA. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a small town in Ecuador. Not a lot of yeast. You know what I'm saying? Because it's inbred. Let's be real. But he's tough. And big power. Marlon Vera is a massive, massive problem in the UFC bantamweight division. So if I'm any UFC bantamweight, as I just said, I ain't fighting Marlon Vera over 5 rounds. It's a 3-rounder. I ain't doing it because eventually he's going to catch you and you aren't finishing him. That's just how it works. A strong grappler, maybe like a Merab could beat him because Merab's got power. I'd like to see Vera fight someone with real power. You know what I'm saying? Because we've seen when he fights guys with that stinging power, even though I thought he beat Song Yudong, Yudong kept him humble to where he couldn't just try these goofy moves that he can land on other guys that don't have as much power, like Rob Font, Dominick Cruz. I'd like to see him, like Aldo had power with the body shots, and it sort of kept Vera humble in those first 2 rounds to not start going crazy for some kind of finishing blow like he does against these other guys, and he starts getting creative and wacky and stuff like that. But I reckon it's going to take like an Aldo, a Merab, maybe a Sandhagen has a powerful enough kicks to do it at range and good enough footwork. Maybe Sandhagen's just like a better Cruz with a better chin and he could beat him. Yan, I think, does beat him because I think if you're losing to Yan, it's too much damage. You're going to get rocked. You're going to get hurt to the body. You know what I'm saying? Whereas other guys, you might just be beaten up and it's annoying for them to hit you, like Dominick Cruz with his pillow fists. But either way, I actually believe this. Aljamain Sterling versus Marlon Vera 5-rounder. Aljo's got a good chance, but I reckon Vera would be an underdog in that matchup if Aljo beats TJ Dillashaw. And I'm saying it right now. I picked Aljo in the first Yan fight. I said it was going to be a razor close split decision in the second fight with Yan as well, when people said Yan was going to demolish him. But I picked Yan. But I think I'm going to pick an Aljo against Dillashaw. I would pick Vera against Aljo in a 5-rounder. I think if you've got a weakness in your chin, any glimmer of it, where you can get KO'd and you can get dropped and hurt, Vera will find it in a fight and you can't finish him. Maybe Aljo submits him and is just that level above on the ground, but Vera's a huge guy for the division. Evolves his takedown defense. Early on, you can catch him with a couple of takedowns, but as the fight goes on, he sprawls them easier and easier, and he actually did that to Dominick Cruz in this matchup as well. But yeah, Marlon Vera is a dangerous guy in that bantamweight division. Amazing win. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm about to do an event recap, so stay tuned for that. I'll drop it in a second. Toodle pip. Goodbye.